So we're closing in on game time. About 10 minutes away, the Pirates and Cardinals set for the fourth game of the series. St. Louis leading the National League Central by 5 games over the Astros. Hi, friends, and a very pleasant good evening. Bob Walk alongside for our telecast tonight. Bob, this Cardinal ball club has so many offensive weapons. That'll be the challenge for Brian Meadows tonight.
Yeah, these guys probably have the best day in, day out the lineup that we see all year in the National League anyway. And it doesn't really matter if you're left-handed or right-handed because they come at you from both sides of the plate. So it will be a challenge for Brian. He threw very well in his last start. He's got 4 pretty good pitches. He throws a lot harder than I thought he did when he came up. So there's no reason, if he's got the good control putting the ball where he wants to, that he shouldn't have success with these guys. They can be pitched to. Chris Benson proved that the other night.
Kevin Young's knees are hurting. Kevin is not in the starting lineup, and tonight, as we saw several days ago, Lloyd McClendon will have Jason Kendall batting in the number 3 spot of the order with Giles 4th and Ramirez 5th. We'll have more. We'll check the starting lineups for you, friends, when we return. Tonight, it's Jason Simon-Tachi against the Pirate right-hander Brian Meadows.
Pittsburgh Pirates baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Giant Eagle, the official supermarket of the Pittsburgh Pirates. By Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light, cold down easy. By Pennzoil, we're driving protection. And by your Western Pennsylvania Toyota dealers. Toyota, get the feeling.
Monday night, the Cardinals beat the Pirates 7-2. Andy Bennis over Kip Wells, and then Chris Benson and a couple of Pirate relievers combined on the one-hit shutout. The Buccos winning Tuesday 8-0. Last night, the Redbirds won 4-1. Here's the Pirates batting order for this 4th game of the set, brought to you by Dodge. Pokey Reese leading off, playing second base. Jack Wilson at shortstop. Jason Kendall catching. Brian Giles, a .333 batting average this year against the Cardinals. 5 home runs against the Redbirds and 11 RBIs. Aramis Ramirez batting 5th. Rob McCoviak in center field hitting 6th, followed by first baseman Craig Wilson, right fielder Armando Rios, and the pitcher Brian Meadows.
And I think it's significant, too, that you have Giles in that cleanup spot, Ramirez down in the number 5, and Mac trying to find that combination that is going to give him, better consistency at the top of the lineup.
Last night, Jason Kendall hit second. Jason has not been all that productive this year when he's been in the number 2 spot of the batting order. Here's the Cardinals batting order, brought to you by Chrysler. Fernando Vena, J.D. Drew, and Jim Edmonds, 3 left-handed batters at the top of the order. Then the right-hand hitting left fielder Albert Pujols and right-handed batter Scott Rowland. Tino Martinez, the first baseman, bats 6th. He's a left-handed hitter, followed by the right-handed batters Edgar Renteria, Mike DeFelice, and Jason Simon-Tachi.
And almost all of those guys, you have to worry a little bit about the home run ball. As you go from Drew all the way down to Martinez, even Renteria, they can put the ball over the fence.
Now the Cardinals take the field. The start of the ball game moments away. Back with more from Busch Stadium after this. The umpires for tonight's game, Ed Montague behind the plate, Hunter Wendelstedt will be at first, Jerry Lane at second, Mike DeMuro at third. The Jason Simon-Tachi story is an inspirational one. 28 years of age, bouncing around to the minor leagues of a number of organizations, time in Italy, and also pitched for an independent team, and here he is in the big leagues, a 9-game winner.
Hey, he's not really a real hard thrower. He won't overpower anybody, and has had a tough time since that All-Star break. You can see 30 of his 49 earned runs have been since the All-Star break, and the Pirates were able to get to him early. They scored 3 runs off of him in the first inning in his last start against the Buccos. Let's hope that we can repeat that here.
And the Cardinals defensively brought to you by Pepsi. Roland, Renteria, Vena, and Martinez on the infield. Tino Martinez made only 2 errors. Pujols, Edmonds, and Drew in the outfield. Mike DeFelice catching Simon-Tachi. And Simon-Tachi, a 21st round pick of the Kansas City Royals in 1996. And the first pitch of the game, a strike on the outside corner. 6th game that Pokey's been in the leadoff spot of the batting order with a batting average of .259 overall this year. Just 4 for 17 in the number 1 spot. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pirate hits last night after the Cardinals were held to 1 hit the night before. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's been well documented that Pokey can steal you bases and a better chance to run in the leadoff spot, but not getting on base very much over the last week since elevated to the leadoff batting position. Breaking ball missed, 2-2.
The first 3 games of this series, a starting pitcher has kind of dominated the ball game. Twice it's been a Cardinal, and then Benson threw his gem in the middle game in the previous 3.
Ball fouled back, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Simon Tachi 2-0 against the Pirates. A win over the Buccos at PNC Park May 26th, and the victory in Pittsburgh 10 days ago, beating Brian Meadows and the Buccos 10-6. And a foul ball. A moment ago we showed you the Cardinal defense. St. Louis is 9th in the National League in fielding percentage, but remember much of the numbers before Scott Rowland came over. They've got a Gold Glover at third, a Gold Glove center fielder, Fernando Vina, their second baseman, won a Gold Glove last year. And I mentioned Tino Martinez committing only 2 errors this season.
Matheny, who caught last night for him, excellent defensive catcher.
3 balls and 2 strikes on Pokey. And you want that leadoff guy to take a few pitches.
And you want that pitcher to have to work hard right out of the chute.
Here's the payoff pitch. Fly ball to center. Jim Edmonds doesn't have to move very far to make the catch. 1 out. And the Cubs have failed to score in the top of the first at Houston. The Astros 5 back of the Cardinals in the National League Central. The Cincinnati Reds are 7.5 games out of first place, and the Reds are playing again in Arizona this evening.
You could see Simon Taki a couple of times. He's been up there in front of the mound, chipping away at it, trying to get that landing spot just right, the way he likes it. And that's why some guys at times will struggle in the first inning. It takes them a while to get used to, get comfortable with that mound out there on the field, because almost all of them are at least a little bit different than what they were throwing on in the bullpen. The landing area is where he's really been digging at. Right there where he puts his foot down. You see that time, that was a great shot. When he put his foot down, he slipped bad. There he's digging at it again. His foot went down, and as soon as he planted it, you could see it slide forward about 3 inches as he was throwing that pitch. Boy, that was a great job with the camera. Watch the foot come down. Watch it slide forward. See that? You do not want that foot going anywhere. Once it plants, you want those cleats to dig in and hold it right there.
Bob, what happens most times we watch this pop-up and Tino Martinez will make the catch just in front of the base in fair territory 2 out. What happens to a pitch when the pitcher slips?
Well, it messes up your release point, because you're ready to really rotate your hips and everything, and that foot starts sliding as you're trying to rotate your hips, and it just makes your mechanics just all go to heck. It's a little bit too much moisture in that clay or whatever it is in the landing area. Perhaps the shoes are a little on the older side. The cleats maybe wore down a little bit, not as long as they could be. See, he's trying to get the mud out of the cleats now.
Now, might this impact Brian Meadows when the Pirate pitcher goes to the mound?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if he has the same trouble with it. But Simon Tachi, definitely, when a foot comes down, he's having a hard time with it staying put. It keeps trying to slide forward on him.
Kendall swings, bouncer up the middle, shortstop Renteria. Close play at first, but Jason is out. The Pirates retired 1-2-3 on the top of the first. Simon Tachi took care of the Pirates 1-2-3 on the top of the first. Brian Meadows on the hill for the Pirates. This is Brian's 5th start as a Pirate.
He has had very good control. Real nice outing in or in PNC Park against the Brewers, where he threw 6 shutout innings for his first Pirate W. And Renteria has wore him out. 8 for 10 with a couple of doubles and a couple of home runs. We'll have to watch tonight and see how he does against the Cardinal shortstop.
The Pirates defensively brought to you by Hyundai. Giles, Makoviak, and Rios in the outfield. Ramirez playing third base. Jack Wilson, the shortstop. Pokey Reese, who's committed only 5 errors this year. What a great tumbling play Pokey made in the 6th inning last night. Kevin Young not in the lineup. It's Craig Wilson at first base this evening, as Lloyd's concerned about Kevin's knees. Second time now in 3 days that KY has not been able to start because of the knees. Kendall catching. Fernando Vina leads off. The Cardinals are 70-54, 38-23 at home. And it looks like Meadows came down with his left foot just to the side of where Simon Tachi's plant foot landed.
And he's throwing a little across his body. He might be starting a little on the third base, further on the third base side of the rubber also. And he is way over on the right side of the rubber, and he's stepping a good 6 inches to the right. So he's not going to have any trouble with the wet spot.
One ball, 2 strikes. Vina's average 265, his only home run of the year, a grand slam off Josh Fogg. No score, bottom of the 1st inning. When Brian Meadows faced the St. Louis Cardinals 10 days ago, he retired the first 10 St. Louis batters, but then was able to get out just 3 of the next 10 and finished with only 4 1/3 innings pitched and 6 runs, losing to Simon Tachi 10-6. And Brian is 1-4 lifetime versus St. Louis.
I don't know if there's anything more disturbing, going home after a loss when your team gives you that big early lead like Meadows had against the Cardinals. And then you can't hold it.
Giles was playing over near the line, and Brian makes the lunging catch. Vina's the first out of the bottom of the 1st inning.
Outstanding play by Brian. Quickly got over, and they had him playing in perfect position as far as depth. You notice he did not have to come in or go back. Just made the horizontal move and made the diving grab. Kept it off his forehead too. Last time I seen him leave his feet, the ball hit him in the pee.
Right fielder J.D. Drew missing a couple of starts recently because of knee problems. Drew was on the disabled list with right knee tendonitis late June, early July. And a called strike, no score, bottom of the 1st inning. One ball, 1 strike. Games in the National League have already been completed. The Dodgers beating the Marlins 6-2, and the Giants down the Mets 3-1. The Mets have lost 11 in a row. And the Giants stay 2.5 back of the Dodgers in the National League wild card standings. A half-hearted swing by Drew, but he was able to get a piece of the pitch and stays alive. One out, nobody on. Brian Meadows, 9-8 at Nashville, recalled on July the 31st. Brian won 11 games in back-to-back seasons for the Florida Marlins earlier in his career. Was released by Minnesota at the end of spring training this year. He also pitched in the big leagues with Kansas City. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Troy, Alabama. Brian Meadows. Pitch that was up. Fly ball left center field. Brian Giles going the opposite way to catch this one. 2 outs.
Brian doing some fine work with the glove early on. Just like that last ball, a lot of it is how quickly you read it off the bat. You take the right direction immediately, or do you have to make a bunch of adjustments? Well, as you can see by that shot, Brian ran a straight line right to that ball.
Center fielder Jim Edmonds, the .314 batting average for Edmonds, 10th in the league. Barry Bonds and Larry Walker started the day tied with batting averages of .357. Edmonds hitting .408 this year against the Pirates. No score, bottom of the first inning.
Ball there on the inside corner. Edmonds really struggled when he was in Philadelphia weekend series. I think he only had 1 hit for the whole weekend. And I asked, was 2 hits?
2 for 14, yes.
I asked what the Phillies did to him. And the thought was that they just did a great job of pitching him inside. Kept the ball in on his hands. And that's what the Pirates tried to do to him, but they just haven't executed that very well this year.
Edmonds 4 for 9 in this series with a home run. And the first hit of the game, a 2-out single by Jim Edmonds.
I didn't try to get that in on him. That was a curveball that tried to sneak underneath the bat. Tried to backdoor it. You can see Kendall move outside. Good curveball right in the outside corner, right where he wanted. What you would really like there is for that hitter to be trying to pull the ball, but Edmonds just going back through the middle with it, and he can handle that off-speed pitch away when you take that approach.
Albert Pujols, 98 RBIs, 5 behind the league leader Lance Berkman.
And this guy has really been tough.
Pujols has 21 of his 98 RBIs against the Pirates, and he's hit 8 of his 29 home runs against the Bucs.
I thought Wells did a great job the other night of pitching him in, crowding him, put one on right on his hands, and the result was a 3-run homer.
Pujols is second in the National League in runs scored. Sosa with 103, Pujols 94.
That 1-0 curveball right there for a strike. That's so important when you get into hitters counts 1-0 and 3-1, 2-0. You don't have to go to that fastball all the time, but you can throw a strike with a curveball, slider, changeup, something other than a fastball. You get ahead in the count, you have to do what he just did. Get it out of the strike zone. But hitters, I'd say 8 times out of 10, they get ahead in the count. They're looking for the fastball, so they'll be a little over-aggressive, and you can get away with an off-speed pitch in a location that might not be perfect.
Even if it's just a so-so breaking ball. Fastball in, 3-1.
But do you throw let's say a breaking ball on a 1-2 count?
it better be in a great spot, because now they're defensive. They're staying back. They're not going to get caught out front.
Now, would you throw the curveball here and not give in to Poole? He's the one guy you don't want to have beat you, right?
3-1. Well, there's a lineup of guys here.
You got to pick one guy, don't you, pretty much? Fastball.
Well, that's a theory, yes. I don't know if I subscribe to that theory or not. I had battles when I was playing about that. Sometimes the guy I thought was who I was worried about wasn't who the manager was always worried about.
Craig Wilson backs off on the right side. Edmonds ready to run. Bouncer to the mound. Meadows to Craig Wilson. And Pujols is the third out. No runs, one hit and a man left on base. No score after one. Stanza number 2 for the Pirates. It will be Brian Giles, Aramis Ramirez, and Rob Makoviak. And Katie Zeza is the first Giant Eagle contestant of the night. A chance for Katie to win $50 in Giant Eagle groceries. Brian batting .291, 31 home runs, including 5 against the Cardinals this year, after Brian missed several days because of the strained calf muscle. He came back into the lineup on Tuesday night and homered off Luther Hackman in the second inning. Brian's 3 for 4 with a home run off Simon Tachi. Balls, no strikes. Pirates 6-10 against the Cardinals. This 2002 schedule called for the Pirates and Cardinals to play 17 games, 10 in Pittsburgh and 7 in St. Louis. Giles swings at a 3-0 pitch, and the Pirates grab a 1-0 lead in the top of the second inning. Ryan's 32nd home run of the year. Jumped out in a hurry.
That's why you give your big guns that 3-0 green light. Guys like Giles, they know how they're supposed to approach a 3-0 pitch. You look for whatever you think it's going to be. In this case, it was a fastball. You look for a spot, and if it's there, you give it the big home run swing. You go for it. Looking for number 1. He got it right down the middle. Gone.
Pitch to Ramirez, a ball, and now Ed Montague walking towards the Cardinal dugout as Simon Tachi continues to have trouble with the mound.
And for some reason, there's a spot there that's real wet, muddy, slippery. You can see that the moisture there is just way too much. And he just cannot get his plant foot to land solid.
Congratulations to Katie Zeza, a Giant Eagle winner by way of Brian Giles' 32nd home run of the year.
What they're going to do, I'm sure, is bring out some of that diamond dust type dry, and they won't just pour it on. They'll rake it into that spot real well.
While they work on the mound, here's a program reminder. Coming up later, Guy Junker and Pat Ferris present Pittsburgh Sports Tonight. With Cordell Stewart still woozy from a concussion, Tommy Maddox will start at quarterback for the Steelers Saturday against the Lions. And we'll get a first look at the Penguins' new home uniforms, plus a story on former Pitt receiver Antonio Bryant ready to start for the Cowboys on Pittsburgh Sports Tonight.
Well, they're not doing what I thought they would do. I guess they don't have rakes here. They're having to do it with the toes of their tennis shoes. Oh well. Simon Tachi was doing a better job with his cleats than what they're doing. They're just kicking in the dry dirt from the mound and trying to rub it in with their tennis shoes. He could have done that. Now he is.
We've got a moment here. We want to go back and take a look at some of the better plays turned in by Pokey Reese, who's had such a fine season. Couple of creative heads-up plays on the part of Pokey last night. Here's a series of plays turned in by Pokey over the course of the season. Here, the pivot, bare hand grab.
His range is just phenomenal. This play here, the way he's playing in, and he went up the middle to get the ball, and then of course the double roll play. Tommy Sant was kidding me earlier tonight about how he worked in spring training with Pokey with the double roll. I said, yeah, sure he did. His range is just incredible. The way he went up the middle, infield in, got that ball flat-footed, real strong throw to the plate to stop Renteria last night.
Way to go, Calvin. All right, Simon Tachi says he's ready. And the 1-ball pitch. Fouled back, 1-1 strike. Hey, speaking of rolling, this weekend we get a chance to hear Bob Walk sing one of his favorite songs. Roll out the barrel.
Oh. I don't think so.
Yeah, we're going to Milwaukee.
That doesn't mean you're going to hear me sing.
Oh, sure, I'm sure you will. Ball fouled back and caught by DeFelice, 1 away. 1-0 Pirates in the second. Slow, dejected walk back to the dugout for Aramis Ramirez. Unfortunately, we've seen an awful lot of that this year. Rob Makoviak batting 6th. Pirate center fielder hitting .236.
This will be a season that Ramos just as soon put behind him.
Though you would think he'd want to try to put together as solid a final 5 weeks as possible and have a good positive stepping stone for next year. It is providing that we are afforded the opportunity to watch Major League Baseball all the way through September. Look at that comparison.
Yeah.
25 home runs at this point a year ago. 82 RBIs at this juncture in 2001. And DeFelice does not tag out Makoviak. The strikeout is scored 2-3.
His assist numbers up. The thing that is really odd about Ramos this year, the total numbers really are a big difference, but his running or his hitting with runners in scoring position has been night and day. From last season, he was among the top 2 or 3 guys in that category for just about the whole season. And I haven't looked at them of late, but I know for a long time they've been very poor. Here, I'll look at them right now. Tell you what it is, 226. Just almost exactly what he is hitting. Runners in scoring position.
And remember, he got off to a good start this year. That day in Milwaukee, when he charged the mound, his batting average was in the 340s. Charged the mound in the 3rd inning after being hit by a Ben Sheets pitch, suffered the injury and had the service suspension. Ball kicks away, and another strikeout recorded, 2-3. But the Pirates grab the lead. Brian Giles hitting his 32nd home run of the year. 1-0 Pirates. We'll go to the bottom of number 2. Kevin Young bothered by bad knees for several seasons, and yet Kevin able to be in there pretty consistently throughout this year until he was not able to get the start because of the knees on Tuesday and not in the starting lineup today. Brian Meadows goes to the mound, and he has a 1-0 lead. Second inning and second trip. Scott Rowland leads off the bottom of number 2. 21st game as a Cardinal. 260 is batting average overall. 268 is mark in a Redbird uniform. Scott will see some of his buddies again this weekend. The Phillies are here at Busch Stadium starting tomorrow.
Rolen was a great addition to this lineup that already was pretty good. And we've pointed out, we've talked about it, how solid this lineup is from top to bottom. The good bench. They might have to think this winter about taking one of those pieces and trying to rebuild the starting rotation just a little bit.
Ball kicks past Ramirez. Rolen took an aggressive turn. Jack Wilson quickly got the ball to second base. It is an error on third baseman Ramirez.
You try to deal and build from strength, and the lineup of this Cardinal team is its strength. Got an in-between hop. You want to try and either get that little sharp one or back up a little bit and get the longer hop. Problem is at third base, if you start backing up, then you're not going to have enough time to throw anybody out.
One nothing Pirates, second inning. Well, the Astros have scored 6 runs in the bottom of the first inning against the Cubs. One ball, one strike. Talking about the Cardinals getting Scott Rolen from the Phillies. Walt Jocketty, outstanding general manager of the Cardinals, able to force the Phillies to take Mike Timlin. And that gave the Cardinals a chance to dump Timlin's $5 million salary. 2 balls and 1 strike, and the Cardinals seem confident they can re-sign Scott Rolen, as they did with Jim Edmonds and Mark McGwire.
From the quotes and things I have seen, Rolen very happy to be here and wants to get something worked out with him. That's half the battle.
3 balls and 1 strike. The Cincinnati Reds reportedly made an attractive offer for Scott Rolen, but then at the last moment pulled out. The Reds weren't confident they could re-sign Rolen.
Well, Rolen, the reason he wanted out of Philadelphia is because he's not a believer.
Runner going. Ball driven by Tino Martinez deep to right, and the Cardinals grab a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the second.
About to say he wasn't a believer that the Phillies could ever put a winning team on the field. And so wherever he's going to go, it's got to be someplace that he's confident that he can get to the postseason. And I think he's fairly confident that this is the place for that. And Martinez definitely coming from a winning tradition over from the Yankees, and a big part of this St. Louis division leading team. Looked like a fastball, I think, Lanny. 3-1.
Right after the error of Aramis Ramirez, the home run by Tino Martinez. 2-1 St. Louis. 1 strike on Edgar Renteria. Bob pointed out earlier that Renteria's got great numbers against Brian Meadows. 1 down. Meadows teaming with Craig Wilson.
Easy out on a curveball. He's been getting fairly easy outs on that hook. Got Pujols to tap back to the mound on 1 in that first inning.
Friends, here's an invitation for you to go to MLB.com for the ultimate shopping experience. The largest selection of jerseys, caps, gifts, and collectibles for all 30 teams delivered right to your door. Deep Felice, fly ball. Rios over near the line to make the catch. 2 outs. 2-1 St. Louis. And next up, pitcher Jason Samantacci.
Corner outfielders playing some pretty good defense for the Pirates already tonight. Rios with a nice jump on that ball, made it look easy going to the line. Wish we could have saw more of Rios in right field this year, but just wasn't to be.
And now Armando sets himself up very close to the line with the pitcher Simon Tachi standing in. Craig Wilson takes the unassisted play. The Cardinals get 2 runs on 1 hit. There was a Pirate error, nobody left on base after 2. Redbirds 2, Buccos 1.
Pittsburgh Pirates baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Dodge. Get somewhere. Grab life by the horns. Dodge. And by UPMC. Choose your health care as if your life depended on it.
St. Louis 2, the Pirates 1. Ready for the third. Armando Rios, Brian Meadows, and Pokey Reese against Jason Simon Tachi. Hey, Bob, let me take us back to the 1990 season. You pitched the game here at Busch Stadium that clinched the tie for the division title. Where would that rate in your career in terms of favorites or best games? Top 5?
Yeah, I guess would have to. You know, I really can't remember the game much. My only memory was that the Yankee game, or not the Yankee game, the Met game was before ours. I don't remember who they were playing, but they lost, and we were still a little leery of the Mets at that time, and we did not want to go back to Pittsburgh and have to play the Mets in a 3-game series and even have to win 1 game from them. We did not want to give them an opportunity to beat us. And to do that, we had to sweep the Cardinals, and the Mets had to lose their games. Well, they lost their game, so I kind of felt like a lot of pressure at that point. Man, we got to win, you know, have to. And I did. Ended up, I think I threw a shutout that day, if I remember right. And nope. I thought that ball was going to go further, and it didn't carry much. Drew had it all the way. But that, you know, it was a very satisfying, because I looked at it as a must-win game, and ended up pitching a very good one.
1 down on the 3rd. The 90 season was delayed, necessitating some shifting of games, including the 3 against the Mets that came after what was supposed to be the end of the regular season. We also had earlier in the year that bizarre trip where the Pirates went to St. Louis, to Chicago, to St. Louis, then to California, and the Pirates played well on that trip, building great confidence. And Meadows the 2nd out of the 3rd inning.
The College Football Saturday returns to Fox Sports Net this week with the 5th annual Eddie Robinson Classic. Seneca Wallace and the Iowa State Cyclones look to upset Chris Ricks and the 3rd-ranked Florida State Seminoles. Coverage begins Saturday following Pirates baseball right here on Fox Sports Net. The Cyclones and the Seminoles.
A busy downtown St. Louis. In addition to the Pirates and the Cardinals are at Busch Stadium, the Chargers and Rams are playing in the St. Louis Dome tonight, an exhibition game.
You could tell the Chargers were somewhere around because Brian Giles had his Charger hat on in the clubhouse all afternoon. Ryan, a big San Diego Charger fan.
Ball 1 on Pokey Reese.
I saw my first NFL game ever in my life in this stadium years ago when the Cardinals were still here in St. Louis, football Cardinals.
What were the circumstances?
We came into town. I think it was a Monday night football game, and of course we weren't playing. The football team was. A bunch of us got tickets and sat up in the top row, right about where that scoreboard is now that you were looking at.
I've always felt this is a good facility. All the criticism of circular stadiums. This one was the first one built in '66. Of course, it's even a better ballpark now after the football Cardinals left.
They've done a tremendous job restyling it.
And Pokey walks after 2 outs.
Well, we'll see if Pokey runs. If Pokey's going to be a leadoff hitter, when he gets on in these situations, he's going to have to be stealing some bases. He is our best base stealer.
Is it important whether he runs early in the count or not?
Well, you know, I think that you're doing your your teammate standing at the plate, in this case Jack Wilson, a favor if you try and steal that base early, because he's up there taking pitches trying to give you a chance, and if you don't go early, you know, a smart veteran pitcher is going to put your teammate in an 0-2 hole. I mean, if I knew that somebody was taken, giving a guy a chance to run, I mean, I'm at least trying to. I didn't accomplish it all that often, but I try to throw strikes right away, and at least
got him at first base. Pokey picked off.
I think Pokey might have been looking for a sign, because Simon Tachi was not in the stretch position. Yep, got him.
Lloyd McClendon came out to discuss the call with the first base umpire. Here's the pickoff of Pokey Reese.
The first time I saw it, I thought that they did get him, but Pokey argued. Lloyd came out, the tag on the elbow, and see if you can see where the hand is. And really close.
Two-one St. Louis, top of the Cardinal batting order. Ryan Giles making a real fine play to retire Vigna on a fly ball in the first inning.
Well, I'm sorry, Larry.
No, go ahead, Bob.
I was going to say, when I was talking about guys getting picked off trying to see a sign, I thought maybe that was the case there with Pokey. You can't really tell where he was looking, but a lot of good base stealers, they'll get off to a big lead even though the pitcher is not in his stretch position. And what they're doing is that while the pitcher's looking for his signs, they'll be glancing in also. They're looking for an off-speed pitch so that they can run on that rather than a fastball. And if you act like you're looking for the signs and then quickly go over like Simon Tachi did, sometimes you'll catch those guys not looking at you.
Also, most of the team's signs for throws to first base are pretty straightforward.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you can see those. But the guy that I've seen do that when he was a Pirate, I still see him as a Diamond, Tony Womack always, if we get a close-up of his face, when he leads off, you can watch his eyes darting back and forth from the pitcher to the catcher. He's looking for signs.
Well, Vigna has 15 stolen bases. Two-run homer by Tino Martinez in the bottom of the second. Giles at a solo shot in the top of number 2.
Yeah, Vigna's not looking toward the. In fact, Vigna's not even getting his lead until Meadows gets up into that stretch position. He's not checking for anything. He's just watching the pitcher, which is the safe thing to do. You look away and he comes over, you're out. Another thing, of course, you can do if you can get out there and see the signs, you can not run on a pitch off.
Now it's almost got to be right. It's got to be right-handed batter in the box, right? Doesn't the left-hand hitter block out the first baseman or the runner at first?
Well, I don't know if he can see past the hitter's legs. You know, if the catcher does a good job of giving the signs, it doesn't matter if there's a hitter there or not. Not going to be able to see him. Really, the guys you get him on is if the catcher's being a little sloppy. He's either giving the signs a little too low or he's got his legs a little too wide. Hey, Kendall's got him tucked back pretty well. I don't think even if there was no hitter there, I don't think you're going to see his signs.
The score in favor of the Cardinals, and the count 2-1 on Drew. Ground ball to Pokey Reese, bobbled, but Pokey's got time to get Drew at first base. Vigna advances to second.
Really bragging heavily on Pokey the last couple of days, and he had the double play ball and didn't get it. Yeah, you know, even if he gets that, though, as well as Drew runs, I don't know if they're going to turn to. They're probably just going to get the lead runner, Vigna.
Runner at second, one out. Edmonds will be intentionally walked. Pirates deciding to bypass the left-handed batter to face Albert Pujols.
Rock in a hard place time.
The Pirates lead the major leagues in issuing intentional walks. This is the 77th intentional walk. And to give you another number as a barometer, the Arizona Diamondbacks have issued only 21 intentional walks. It has been completed. Edmonds at first, Vigna at second, Albert Pujols 98 RBIs. Folks, if you'd like to contact our broadcast booth or our TV truck, question or comment, foxsports.com on Lyco's keyword Pirates booth. San Diego beat Atlanta this afternoon 9-2. Phillies over the Brewers 7-0. Randy Wolf 8 scoreless innings. The Phillies should be arriving in St. Louis real soon. And called strike. The Yankees 4, the Angels 2 after 5 innings in New York. The Angels, the Athletics, and the Mariners in a virtual tie for first place in the American League West. Oakland leads Cleveland 3-2 in the 8th inning. The Athletics trying to put together a 9th straight win. Ground ball to shortstop Jack Wilson. To Pokey Reese. To Craig Wilson, a double play.
Outstanding play, intentional walk to set this up, and boy, look at those middle infielders we got.
Watching Fox Sports Net's exclusive coverage of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Our producers Tom Hewitt, director Dennis Galloway, along with associate producers Lynn Holden and Mark Vidonic. 2-1 St. Louis. And at the end of 3 innings, the intentional walk of Jim Edmonds set up the double play. The Pirates did a great job of turning it. Ball that forced Jack to go to his right in the hole, and then a strong accurate throw to Pokey and a good pivot from Reese.
It didn't look like it was a real easy ball for Jack to handle either. Kind of had to stab down at his knees trying to make that catch.
Jack was at the plate when Pokey was picked off of the 3rd. Liner to right field. J.D. Drew got a great jump. One away in the 4th. Time for our Aflac trivia question. Albert Pujols ranks 2nd in the National League with 94 runs this season. Who was the last Cardinal to lead the National League in runs for a single season? All right, let's see the choices and we'll come up with our guesses. A. Mark McGwire, B. Lou Brock, C. Lonnie Smith, D. Willie McGee. I'll say A. Mark McGwire.
I gotta go with well, out of those other 3, I'll go Willie McGee.
Well, you can go with McGwire if you want. If you think that's
no,
the
I'll go with Willie McGee. McGwire was before I saw the names come up was like the first thing that came to my head, but then just to be different, I'm pretty sure it's not the other 2. I'm gonna go with Willie. I know Willie one year hit 350 something here.
Fly Fly ball to right by Kendall, pushing Drew back to the track. 2 outs.
Tommy Herr had 100 and some RBIs and about 9 home runs. A lot of those had to be knocking Willie McGee in. So I like my pick. I'm going to go with it.
Okay. We'll check in the bottom of the inning. Ryan Giles has the Pirates' lone hit tonight, and only 4 Pirate hits over the last 2 days. Of the 3 hits last night, Keith Osick had a pinch hit home run.
We were talking a while ago about guys on a team you don't want to let beat you. There are certain circumstances where I am wholeheartedly in favor of that, and if I was playing the Pirates, Giles is definitely a guy that you can't let. It's been amazed. I have been amazed this year how many times Giles has beat the other team. How many times he's gotten good pitches to hit. For me, it's hard to pick somebody out of this Cardinal lineup. I can pick, maybe 2 or 3 guys.
How about that Houston ball club? Would you signal out Berkman, or would you say no, that Bagwell can do some damage? And Brian Giles, who homered on a 3-0 pitch in the 2nd inning, walks on 4 pitches here in the 4th.
If I had a left-hander on the mound, I'd have to say that I got to pitch to Bagwell. I mean, Berkman.
Yeah, Berkman's number right-hander.
I guess it depends on who's. It depends too on who's out there on the mound. What kind of pitcher he is. With the Pirates this year, the way this club is hit, and maybe a little different story last year with Ramirez with those big numbers, hitting with runners in scoring position that we already talked about earlier. But this year, the way things have gone, it really hasn't mattered who's out there on the mound. They can't let Giles beat them.
It's the Cardinals 2 and the Pirates 1. Ramos fouled out in the 2nd, and this time up he pops one, and third baseman Rowland makes the catch just 25 feet away from home plate. No runs, no hits, a walk, a man left on base. Middle of the 4th, St. Louis 2, the Pirates 1. Bottom of the 4th inning, 2-1 St. Louis. Let's check the Aflac trivia question and give you the answer. Albert Pujols ranks 2nd in the National League with 94 runs this season, who was the last Cardinal to lead the National League in runs for a single season.
The answer is... Oh, Lonnie!
120 runs in that 82 season.
Well.
Base hit to center field by Scott Rowland. Seeing the Ducks in the water, reminding us that we've got our Ducky Derby coming up in Pittsburgh Sunday morning, September the 8th. And tomorrow, Rotarians will be selling Ducky Derby certificates for you to adopt a duck, a rubber ducky, selling tomorrow at Center City Tower, Smithfield Street, downtown, between 11 and 2. Ryan Meadows has allowed 1 hit in each of the first 4 innings. Martinez homered in the 2nd with a man aboard. Scott Rowland had reached base 2 innings ago by way of Aramis Ramirez's error. Pirates in Milwaukee this weekend, and the Bucs are home to host Atlanta Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week.
The home run that Martinez hit, if I remember right, was a 3-1 pitch. Behind him again now, 3-0. He went with a breaking ball there, 2-0, and it didn't look like he just tried to feather it in for a strike. Looks like he tried to throw a good, hard, sharp curveball. Sometimes tough to get one of those in for a strike. The 2-0 count. That's the situation. Sometimes you can throw just a little, what they call it, get me over curveball. Just a little spinner, not much break on it, but just an off-speed curveball. When the guy's looking for a fastball, a lot of times it's good enough.
Scott Rowland running on the pitch. It's ball 4. And 2 Cardinals on base. And Renteria the batter. Renteria 8 for 11 lifetime versus Brian Meadows. Renteria bounced one back to the mound in the 2nd inning. The Pirates hosting the Braves Tuesday and Wednesday nights next week, and then Thursday, 1 week from today, a 12:35 game. And kids ages 12 and younger get in free. Bring your child to the PNC Park ticket window the day of the game and get the free admission. Call 1-800-5BUCKS if you need more information. That's Kids Get In Free Day a week from today. Thursday, August 29th, 12:35 starting time. Craig Wilson comes over to give Brian Meadows the bunt play that Lloyd McClendon wants to use should Renteria drop down a bunt.
Renteria, even though he has those great numbers against Meadows, is a real double play candidate. If I remember correctly, his lifetime numbers, he hits into a lot of double plays. They might try something. Maybe start the runners in a count that favors Renteria. They have an opportunity for an inning here. The Pirates would love to squash it with a double play. Already had one big one tonight. Meadows has kind of slowed things down and really doing a lot of wiping of the brow and everything. It's not a hot night, but it's very sticky, very humid. Like he's trying to get a little bit of a breather for himself. Pokey came in, called timeout, had a word. He went back to his position. Now Jason doing the same thing. Now Jason maybe kind of just wondering what was going on right there and just wanting to go out and check, make sure he was feeling okay.
Rowland and Martinez the running mates. No outs, 4th inning. Two balls, no strikes.
Ball behind some hitters.
And now it's Spin's turn to go to the mound.
We've definitely gone into the 4 corners. And Spin doesn't look like he's in a real hurry to get out there. I don't see anybody getting ready to get loose. A lot of times when you see that slow walk to the mound, it's that bullpen start to crank up. Nobody's throwing. Now I see Bruce Tanner going to the telephone. Just now he's picking up the phone. So that must mean that somebody's going to have to start. Who will it be? Jimmy Anderson.
Two balls, no strikes. Rowland led off the inning with a single to center. Tino Martinez walked on 5 pitches. And Renteria takes that big rip at a 2-0 pitch. Comes up empty.
2-0. Kind of like taking a rip on a 3-0 pitch. You're sitting on one thing and hoping you guess right, and then you take the big rip. fact that Renteria couldn't make contact with a fastball right down the middle, 2-0, might put a little doubt over there in Tony's mind about starting the runners.
Ground ball to shortstop Jack Wilson to Pokey Reese. On to Craig Wilson, another double play. Turned behind Brian Meadows on the play. Roland goes to third.
Runners stayed home and they paid the price. Again, Jack with a good backhand and a perfect feed to Pokey. No contest.
Double play of the fourth, almost a Xerox copy of the play that the Bucs turned in the third. Jack ranging to his right.
He's going to have another intentional walk.
Including this walk of DeFelice. Listen to this. Including this walk of DeFelice, Brian Meadows has walked 6 batters since coming up from Nashville. 4 of the 6 intentional walks.
There has been a number of them all year long.
Bypassing the number 8 hitter to face pitcher Simon Tachi. There we go. First and third, 2 outs.
Not wanting to give DeFelice a chance to hit with a runner in scoring position, down by a run. And let Meadows try to get the pitcher out for the last out.
Simon Tachi has 7 hits, all singles, 1 RBI. And a called strike. Jason Simon Tachi from Santa Clara, California. Played 1 year in the Pirates organization, was at Hickory in 1999. That year Tracy Woodson was the manager. Simon Tachi played with Joe Beimel and Dave Williams that year. And Craig Wilson behind the runner, DeFelice at first. 0-2. Roland led out this inning with a single. Martinez walked. Renteria bounced into a double play. Roland advanced to third. Then DeFelice was intentionally walked. 2-1 Cardinals by way of Martinez's 2-run homer in the second. Ryan Giles homered for the Pirates in the top of the second inning. Jack Wilson charging and throwing out Simon Tachi. No runs, 1 hit, a couple of walks, a double play, and 2 men left. Through 4, the Cardinals holding on to a 2-1 lead. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Pirates. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Buccos. Inning number 5. And for the Pirates will be Rob Makoviak, and Sandy Striley will be in line to win the groceries. We had a winner back in the second inning. Katie Zeza of Pittsburgh, a $50 Giant Eagle winner thanks to the Brian Giles home run. And a chance to meet Rob Makoviak's grandmother the other night. She's here from Oak Lawn, Illinois, just outside Chicago. Real proud of her grandson. I was telling her the other night after I met her that Pirate fans have taken to Rob his hard-nosed style of play. She asked me last night if I thought Rob would be in the lineup tonight. And so, of course.
Well, this year it's hard to predict, what are the starting outfield combination is going to be.
Yeah, but I didn't want to be the one. I wasn't going to dash the hopes of Rob's grandmother.
Tonight, Adam Heisdo is the odd man out.
Second baseman Vigna. One away in the 5th inning. And this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, Chipper Jones and the defending National League East champion Atlanta Braves take on Shawn Green and the Los Angeles Dodgers. It begins this Saturday. Check your local listings for start time in your area. The Atlanta Braves have a sizable lead in the National League East, while the Dodgers are at the moment 7.5 back of Arizona in the West. The Dodgers lead the Giants in the wild card race by 2.5. The Dodgers beat the Marlins 6-2 earlier today. Hideo Nomo won his 12th. Chad Kruger 3 hits and 3 RBIs for LA. And the Giants over the Mets 3-1. Ryan Jensen the winner. He's 11-8, and Rob Nen picked up his 31st save as the Mets lost their 11th in a row. Only one Pirate hit, the Giles home run. One ball, 2 strikes. The Pirates held to 3 hits last night. And it happened to be the 12th time this year that the Pirates have picked up 4 hits or fewer in a game. Two outs. Play down on strikes for the second time. Simon Tachi's 3rd strikeout. Armando Rios just 3 for 39 since coming off the disabled list. Nobody on, 2 down, 5th inning. Boston a big lead over Texas 12-3 in the 7th inning at Fenway. And the Red Sox are 3.5 games back in the American League wild card race. Fly ball right center field. J.D. Drew sprints over and makes the catch. J.D. Drew tracks it down. The ball hit by Rios at the end of 4.5. Cardinals 2, Pirates 1. 2-1 St. Louis, bottom of the 5th. Ken Biggerstaff, the Pirates all-star trainer, who is from nearby Wood River, Illinois, across the Mississippi. And Biggie spent a lot of time in his formative days rooting for the Cardinals.
The other day we did the bet with Lewis and Clark. That's where they spent the winter.
Yeah, there's a motel over there in Wood River, Lewis and Clark Motel.
That's where they stayed.
I know. Isn't that ironic that they should show up there? And
they had a great time, and big tippers. They named the hotel after them.
Probably stay there because of all the boats with the gambling on them.
Yeah, I think that was part of the deal, that they wanted to see if they could. Thomas Jefferson gave them just a limited amount of funds, and they want to see if they could double it.
One and one on Vigna. Robert Vernon Walker, our resident historian, particularly on the book Undaunted Courage, written by Stephen Ambrose, as I recall. They sit by Vigna.
You know, I read that years and years ago, though, and so it's kind of, if you're going to keep asking me questions about it, I'm going to have to refresh my memory on a few certain points.
Well, it's too early in the trip. As they left from Pittsburgh, they had a big stop in Steubenville, didn't they?
Well, they talked about you know, the Ohio River was at like its all-time low. I guess they had global warming back then or something, had a drought, I don't know. But they had trouble getting the boat that they bought there in Pittsburgh, had built there in Pittsburgh, across some sandbars. And as the story goes, people were bringing their mules and stuff down to the water's edge and kind of gouging them for, you know, towing services. And Meriwether Lewis wasn't too happy about that. But he said when he got to the village of Steubenville, the people were so kind. They came down and just were wonderful to him. And
Rich Donnelly came down with his friends.
Yeah, and that's where the story about Steubenville came in. That was the first point on his journey where everybody was just so great to him and was willing to help him out and didn't want anything for their efforts. They spent their first night. They didn't get very far the first day. They spent the first night on Neville Island, so they didn't go very far.
Vigna drawing the attention of Brian Meadows. It is 2-1 St. Louis. The Cardinals had something going in the third, and then Pujols hit into a double play, and the Redbirds looked like they were set up to expand their lead in the fourth inning when Renteria hit into a double play.
Kendall put down the sign for the sinking fastball.
Rob off the middle. Polke flips the ball to Jack, and they get the out of Vigna at second. Reason for some anxiety there at second base. As close as Polke was to Jack when he flipped him the ball.
Yeah, there was a little miscommunication. Perhaps I think Jack for a moment thought that Polke was just going to go to the bag with it, and was starting to get out of his way, and then ended up getting the baseball and came close again to making one of those highlight double play turns.
Al Reyes warming up in the Pirate bullpen. Jimmy Anderson was throwing last inning. Pitch to Edmonds low and outside. Brian Meadows' fifth start as a Pirate. 1 win, 3 losses. Win over Milwaukee 5 days ago. The Astros 6, the Cubs nothing in the fourth inning at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Houston 5 back of the Cardinals in the National League Central. The Astros and the Reds are getting together again this weekend, while the Cardinals are scheduled to host the Phillies. 2-1.
A 2-0 breaking ball for a strike. Meadows is going to be falling behind guys, getting in these hitters' counts. That's what he has to do. He can't give in and go after him with a fastball.
Shortstop Wilson playing Edmonds up the middle. Third baseman Ramirez a couple of steps off the line. Foul ball down the left side. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, the Pirates have really done a lot of that this year, Lanny, playing one of the middle infielders way up the middle, depending on who the hitter is, and it's really, for the most part, really paid off for them. They've gotten burnt on it a couple of times, but for every time they've gotten burnt, they've fielded 10 balls hit right up the middle. Jack standing there again.
center. Makoviak makes the catch. Tagging up is Drew, and he started to go for second base and watched the throw come in, and once he saw it was on line, he hustled back to first.
And Makoviak has the way too good arm for that. You know, even if Makoviak catches the ball a little flat-footed, he's got such great arm strength that he's going to beat that runner to the bag every time with the throw. And look, he is a little flat-footed, didn't have any momentum coming in at all, and that's what I think Vigna saw, and that's why he was going to maybe give a shot at it. He saw Makoviak was not going to be making the catch coming toward the infield, so why not tag up, take a look? But Makoviak has a great arm.
Drew at first, 2 outs, 2-1 Cardinals. 2-run homer by Tino Martinez. And the only Pirate hit the Brian Giles home run. Pitch out. Drew was not running. Dave McKay, first base coach, stepping to the line to say something to Drew. Albert Pujols has 29 home runs this year. Just one more home run to join an exclusive list of Cardinals to hit 30 or more home runs in back-to-back seasons. The others being Stan Musial, Ray Langford, Mark McGwire, and Jim Edmonds. First 2 years in the big leagues have been impressive for Albert Pujols. Unanimous choice for Rookie of the Year last year. And Roy Oswalt, who had a fine rookie season last year but finished second in the balloting, is pitching tonight for the Astros and had that 6-0 lead over the Cubs in the 5th inning. Albert Pujols, born in the Dominican Republic. At the age of 16, he moved with his father to Kansas City and was graduated from a high school in Independence, Missouri. This is only his 3rd year of pro ball. He spent only 1 season in the minor leagues. Breaking ball missed, 2-2.
Roy Smith was pointing out to me yesterday about that minor leagues season. He said, look at his strikeout numbers. And for a guy in the first year of professional baseball to have over 500 at-bats and strike out as little as he did, I think it was less than 50 times.
47.
Just amazing to combine that type of contact hitter ability with his power.
Speaking of his power, this one drives Giles back, but Brian's got enough real estate to make the catch on the track. No runs, 1 hit, and a man left on base. At the end of 5, the Cardinals 2, Buccos 1.
Pittsburgh Pirates baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Chrysler. Drive equals love.
Bob, it says on my 4x6 card here that there's a Walkman celebrating a birthday today.
Oh, Ronnie, yeah. Teenager now, 13 years old.
Bob and Lori's 3rd son, youngest son.
Found out that he got a new fly rod fishing pole for his birthday. He's out in Colorado with his older brother, and they were going to go do some fly fishing late this afternoon.
Simon Tachi makes a fine play coming off the hill and throws out Brian Meadows, who's afforded the opportunity to bat in the 6th inning. 2-1 Cardinals in the 6th.
Well, for Doug Flutie, being underestimated served as motivation, but his son's battle with autism became his toughest challenge, and it gave him a purpose greater than football. Beyond the Glory takes you inside the hidden world of sports' biggest stars. Doug Flutie, Beyond the Glory, Sunday at 8 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Net.
You reach the batter. This Bob, this thing about holding your mouth a certain way when you fish, that for fly fishing too.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of fishing. You know, tuna fishing out in the ocean, whatever. Any kind of fishing. Gotta hold your mouth right. And it's different for different species. You can't take the way you hold your mouth for say steelhead fishing and then take that down to Florida and fish the same way for bass. That's not going to work.
Are there books you can buy that will?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Not that I intend to fish at any point, but. Pokey lines one to left center field. Second Pirate hit of the game. The other, the Giles home run. 1 on and 1 out in the 6th.
Pokey will be wanting to run now after getting picked off. That works. With guys like Pokey, that works as like a challenge to him. He is not taking his eyes off Simon Tachi at all this time. Closer than you like. Simon Tachi's got a pretty quick move. You can see by that play he made on Meadows that he has a lot of athleticism. Quick reactions. Good coordination, like most pitchers.
Yeah, right, Bob. Pitcher's very well coordinated and probably the smartest ball players, correct?
No. Yeah, well, that goes without saying. They have all the time on their hands to sit around and think. Exercise the brain.
What is it about some guys in high school? They're pitchers and shortstops, and then they get what they sign pro contracts, and they can't do anything else, just pitch.
No, they could still play shortstop. They would just play it like a high school shortstop. Which wouldn't cut it up here. I played third base in high school. Would you want to see me out there at third?
No, I did see you in a softball game play third base. I thought you were pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, a pretty good softball third baseman. I wasn't bad in high school, but it's a different animal. As easy as it looks at times out there, it's way tougher than you can ever imagine.
All of the former players that I've worked with, Jim Rooker and Bob and Steve, they all said the same thing. The further you get away from the field, the easier it looks.
Mm-hmm.
2 balls, no strikes. A man on, 1 out, 6th inning. Checking the UPMC injury update. Ron Vallone is on this trip. He's on the disabled list. 50-day DL. Kevin Young not in the lineup tonight. Second time in 3 days because of Kevin's knee problems. 3 balls, no strikes.
Simon Tachi maybe getting himself in a little trouble here worrying a little too much about what Pokey's doing at first base. His attention split a little bit, I know, on those first two pitches.
At least he's got the mound taken care of. That was causing him some trouble early on. First couple of innings. And 3-1. See if Pokey runs here. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Pokey is not running. Jack Wilson walks. Couple of men on for Jason Kendall.
And Brian Giles on deck. He gets up in a situation where they can't pitch around him. That is exactly what you're looking for. You're a Pirate fan. Don't want him to be able to pitch around Giles.
Dave Duncan's coming out.
And Duncan and La Russa, you saw in that shot, discussing something back and forth. And now Duncan's going to go out and relay whatever that was to his pitcher. They may not tell him everything they were discussing, but they'll tell him some stuff. I imagine in that discussion was about the fact that Giles is in the on-deck circle. And that's going to dictate, you know, what kind of pitches Kendall is going to see. That's why we talk about, you know, when you hear announcers talking about the lineup, one guy is protecting another guy. Well, Giles right now is protecting Kendall. And Giles is somebody they really have to fear, so Kendall is going to see better pitchers to hit because of that. They cannot take a chance at walking Kendall. They're going to have to come at him and pitch to him.
Pokey Reese at second base. Jack Wilson leads off first. St. Louis 2, the Pirates 1. Simon Tachi misses inside, ball 1.
Going there again, he's going to hit Kendall in that elbow, and he'll have bases loaded and Giles there. Kendall won't move out of the way. He might even move into it a little bit.
Fly ball to right. And Drew makes the catch. 2 outs. Only 2 Pirate hits in the game. Reese is single of the 6th inning, and Brian Giles going deep in the 2nd. All right, Bob, let's go back to this discussion that we had earlier about pitching around a guy like Giles. There's a base open. It's third base. But
I think they'll be careful. They'll be careful, and they won't really, you know, be hurt too much strategy-wise if they were to walk him here.
Mike Crudell warming up in the bullpen for the Cardinals. 2 men on, 2 outs.
And DeFelice went out, had a little conversation before this first pitch, and just, you know, reminding, I'm sure that, hey, if I put down a fastball, let's not make it a strike. If you're going to miss, if I say fastball away and you're going to miss, don't miss over the plate. Miss too far outside. We can't really tell what, we don't know. When there's a man on second base, there's a sequence of signs, and so we're not really sure what he's going to throw by looking at those. Maybe last sign, first sign, second sign, first sign after a 2. Who knows? It could be anything.
Square root of all the figures I put down.
Well, you got a pitcher looking in. It could be anything because they can figure anything out. Pitchers are that smart. All of those signs you saw meant changeup.
Two on, 2 outs.
My favorite for signs at second was the head behind even. I always thought that, you know, as dumb as regular players are, there's no way they could pick that up out at second base.
You want to explain what that means, a head behind even?
A, B, and E. Ahead means you're ahead in the count, it's first sign. If you're behind in the count, it's second sign. If you're even in the count, it's third sign. Well, some regular players aren't going to figure that one out. I'm surprised the catchers could keep up.
Well, one of them not sure, so they're going to get together. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, you never bothered covering your mouth, did you, when you had a conference with your catcher?
No.
You weren't worried about somebody reading your lips?
No. We didn't have a lot of conferences. They didn't come out and talk to me very often. At least not in a situation where it was anything important.
Well, they sure have a lot of conferences these days. Giles shoots one into the right field corner. Foul ball.
Oh, man, we can't see into that corner, so I thought for sure that was extra bases. That can't be foul by much. There's only about maybe 3 feet of room in between the chalk line and the wall. That looked like a changeup that he hit. Wasn't a bad pitch. It almost cost him 2 runs.
Foul ball to play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 on and 2 outs.
They took a chance there. They were going with a fastball. DeFelice set up inside. Now, if that ball has a little tail on it and drifts back over the plate, boy, that's a dangerous pitch. DeFelice moves inside, wants the fastball on the hands, and Simon Tachi kept it in there. That got right on the label of the bat. Cat and mouse game is on. DeFelice fakes in, now fakes out, now moves back in again.
Ball's playable in foul territory. Giles, the 3rd out. No runs, 1 hit, a walk, and 2 men left on base. Still 2-1 St. Louis at the end of 5 1/2.
A 2-1 ball game here as we go to the bottom of the 6th. We're going to show you DeFelice and what I was talking about with him faking in and out. Watch him when he sets up. He moves in, and then he moves out, and then he moves back in again. Well, what he's doing there is he's trying to confuse Pokey Reese so that Pokey cannot let Brian know where they're coming with the pitch, either in or out. Well, sometimes that happens. You'll have a runner at second base. He'll at least, he might not know what the pitch is, but he'll be able to tell the hitter inside or outside.
How does he signal the hitter?
Well, there's different ways you can do it. That if you take a step toward third base with your right foot, that might be inside. If you do it with your left foot, that might be away. It has to be set up beforehand. But I don't think that they were doing it there. But DeFelice was not taking any chances, because obviously if Giles knows they're trying to come in on his hands, well, that gives him a big advantage in that at bat, and they probably don't jam him and pop him up. But that's why you'll see catchers sometimes with runners on second base. They'll move one direction and then come back inside, or you don't see it very often, but DeFelice did it there. They'll actually move twice.
Two balls and a strike on Rowland. Strike called. Scott Rowland was from or is from Jasper, Indiana, 3 hours away from Busch Stadium. Used to come over and see the Cardinals play, and now he is a Redbird. One out, and that is Brian Meadows' first strikeout of the game. 6th inning, 2-1 St. Louis. The Coors Light, what's on tap? Tomorrow night will be in Milwaukee. Coverage begins at 6:30 with a pregame show tomorrow night at 7:30. Bronson Arroyo against Glendon Rush tomorrow evening. Bronson beat Lyndon Rush at PNC Park on Sunday 3-2. Pitch down low, ball 1. Adam Heisdu's home run in that game on Sunday was the deciding run. The Bucs and the Brewers this weekend, and the Pirates are home for just 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. All fouled away. The Atlanta Braves, who have the best record in baseball, are coming in. Night games, Tuesday the 27th and Wednesday night the 28th, 7:05 starts. Giant Eagle Advantage Card night is the 27th. And then kids get in free day on next Thursday, a week from today, August 29th, 12:35 starting time. And the Pirates are scheduled to fly to Florida next Thursday night. 1-1 pitch. Fly ball to right. And Rios is there, 2 outs. After 3 against Atlanta, then back out on the road and returning home for a series against the Marlins early September. Sunday, September the 8th, 1:35 the game time. Kids Oliver Onion Beanbag Day, courtesy of Mrs. T's Pierogies. Call 1-877-893-BUCKS or log on to PittsburghPirates.com to get your tickets for remaining Pirate games. Atlanta next week, and then in early September against the Florida Marlins. And it turns out to be an easy inning for Brian Meadows. The bottom of the 6th. 3 up, 3 down. Now to the 7th. The Cardinals clutching to a 2-1 advantage.
You're watching Fox Sports Net's exclusive coverage of the Pittsburgh Pirates. There it is, Busch Stadium.
In the Pirates' 7th, Ramirez, Makoviak, and Craig Wilson. And Sal Shotland of Midland has a chance to win the Giant Eagle Groceries. Just 3 Pirate hits last night, only 2 tonight. The Cardinals were held to 1 hit on Tuesday night. The Redbirds have 5 this evening. Simon Tachi's pitch drilled to right center by Aramis Ramirez. Extra bases. Ball played on 1, bounce by right fielder J.D. Drew. A leadoff double.
Nice job by Aramis going the other way, not pulling off. No better way to get that tying run in than a leadoff double. Look where that pitch was, down and away, knee high, outside corner. Try to pull that, it's a ground ball to short. Good job, Aramis.
Trent Jewett and Rob Makoviak had a quick meeting. Makoviak has 15 home runs this year. He's hit 12 of the 15 off right-handed pitchers, but Rob's batting average is 100 points lower this year against right-handed pitchers. And Makoviak 1 for 8 lifetime against Simon Tachi with 5 strikeouts. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Martinez got caught playing very deep. He was back about halfway on the dirt and had to come on a dead run. He was playing back in here. Makoviak squared around. He was caught way out of position. They did not think Makoviak was bunting.
Fly ball to right center field by Rob Makoviak. Pujols makes the catch. Ramirez tagging up, sprinting for third, and making it easily.
Good job by Aramis. Good base running. Even though that fly ball was to left field, he knew that even if Pujols made the catch, he would be going back away from third base, and he was going to be able to get to third with 1 out.
Craig Wilson, the batter. And the tying run at third base. 1 out, 7th inning. The Cardinals 2, the Pirates 1. Redbird infield. 3 of the 4 infielders are flying up even with the bases. Vina is about a step and a half back at the base path on the right side. And Craig has struck out twice tonight. Ball 1. Sauerbeck warming up in the bullpen. After Craig Wilson comes Armando Rios, and then the pitcher Brian Meadows and Dave Duncan going out to the mound. Like Duncan wanted to make sure that he had both the police and Simon Tachi in on the conversation before he started talking to Jason.
Trent Jewett had the same type of intense conversation with Craig Wilson. Rios on deck has hit the ball pretty good twice. The first time it looked like he hit it real well, but it would turn out to be just a routine fly ball. But that second fly out in the 5th inning was a shot into the gap that Drew was able to run down. Rios will not be hitting right-handed.
From a full windup. And a pitch outside, 2-0. Three balls, no strikes. Three and one. Leadoff double by Aramis Ramirez, and then Aramis moved to third on the Makoviak flyout. 3-1 pitch. Craig Wilson walks. And that's Dave Veers in the Cardinal bullpen. Program reminder, college football Saturday returns to Fox Sports Net this week. The 5th annual Eddie Robinson Classic. Seneca Wallace and the Iowa State Cyclones taking on Chris Ricks and third-ranked Florida State Seminoles. Coverage begins Saturday following Pirates baseball right here on Fox Sports Net. And a pitching change. Tony La Russa is out.
La Russa is thinking about those first 2 at-bats of Rios and does not want him to get a third shot. It's Simon Tachi.
Cardinals 2, Pirates 1. Buccos at first and third, 1 out, and we'll have more from Busch Stadium coming up in just a moment. Simon Tachi, 6 in the 3rd innings. He has given up 1 run so far. He's responsible for Ramirez at third and Craig Wilson at first, so he could be the winner and he could also be the loser. Dave Veers appearing for the 55th time, 5 wins, 7 losses, 2 saves.
The way Rios was seeing the baseball with Simon Tachi out there, this does not surprise me at all, bringing in the veteran Dave Veers to pitch to Rios, try and throw a ground ball. Heisdu that's come out on the on-deck circle, Manny? Yep,
yes.
That's Adam. So it'll be up to those 2, Rios and Heisdu.
Ramirez at third base. And Craig Wilson at first. Heisdu preparing to pinch hit for pitcher Brian Meadows.
Brian did a nice job again. 6 solid innings, only 5 hits. He did a nice job of pitching from behind in the count when he had to. He got himself into some tough spots. 2-0, 3-1 pitches. Except for the one time to Martinez, he was able to get a lot of good off-speed stuff over the plate when he was in fastball counts.
1 ball, 1 strike. Brian able to serve up a couple of double play balls. Pujols in the 3rd, Renteria in the 4th. Ground balls. Jack Wilson had to Range to his right on both of the plays. Two balls, one strike. Now the Astros lead the Cubs 8-0 in the 6th. The Reds and Diamondbacks no score after 1.
I think Oswalt and Wagner can hold on to that one, don't you
I
think?
think so, sure. Houston 5 back of St. Louis.
8-run lead is what they couldn't hold against us last year, wasn't it?
Swing and a miss, 2-2. I think it was 8. It was 8-2. I think it was a 6-run lead. Scored 7 runs after 2 outs in the 9th.
There was 8 in there somewhere. That was Oswalt's game. That was the Giles grand slam off of Wagner. Pat Mears had hit a home run earlier in that inning.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Rios. Runners at first and third. Will squibber up the third baseline. Veers is toe to the plate, way off the mark. Ramirez scores. Craig Wilson to third, and Armando Rios made a wide turn, but will go back to first. And the game is tied at 2.
Just a little swing and bunt. Look how things even up. Rios smoked the ball last time, got nothing. Here just barely gets a piece of it. And Veers, he had a shot at the plate. He just didn't have hold of the baseball when he tried to throw it. And he's very lucky it didn't go in the camera pit.
Rios gets credit for an RBI infield single. Charged the air on Veers, allowing Craig Wilson to go to third. Adam Heisner batting for Brian Meadows. Adam hitting .271, 9 home runs, 28 RBIs. All ball out of play. Game tied at 2. Brian Giles homered in the second. That gave the Pirates a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the second. I think Tino Martinez had a 2-run homer. And it was 2-1 St. Louis until this Pirates 7th. Brian Meadows, 6 innings. He gave up 2 runs, 1 earned run. Strike called inside corner, 0-2. Five starts for Brian Meadows, 4 of the 5 acceptable starts. 6 runs or more, 3 earned runs or less. Heisner strikes out, the second out of the 7th inning.
Adam chasing a pitch, looked like it might have been out of the strike zone, up a little bit. Trying to go in on his hands and threw it up and away. Now, it really wasn't up out of the strike zone. It looked like it might have been a little outside. Veers completely missed his spot. He missed by 3 feet where he was trying to throw that ball, and came out smelling like a rose.
Breaking ball low and outside, ball 1. Pokey Reese is 1 for 7 lifetime against Veers with 4 strikeouts. Now the potential go-ahead run at third base. Two and 0. Aramis Ramirez led off the inning with a double and scored the tying run. So for Brian Meadows, the Pirates starter tonight, either a no decision or a win. Pirates need to get another run here in the 7th to allow Meadows to be the pitcher of record on the positive side. Base hit to center field by Pokey Reese. Drives in Craig Wilson. 3-2 Buccos. Rio stops at second.
Pokey lashing that ball right back through the middle.
3-2 Pirates, 7th inning. Jack Wilson steps in. Hokie 2 for 3 tonight.
Another big run. If Jack can knock it in here.
Fly ball to right. J.D. Drew near the line. A fair ball. It's out number 3. The Pirates pick up 2 runs. The Buccos lead it 3-2 at the end of 6 1/2. Now to Los Angeles for a sports update. Scott Sauerbeck, the second Pirate pitcher of the night. Buccos 3, Cardinals 2, ready for the bottom of the 7th inning. Sauerbeck's 61st appearance of the year. 3 wins, 1 loss, no saves. Mike DeFelice leads off for the Cardinals. Then it's the pitcher's spot. And Sauerbeck's last outing was Sunday. Pitched 2/3 scoreless against Milwaukee. And one of Scott's wins this year came over the Cardinals on Friday night, July 19th at PNC Park.
Well, they have that situation at the top of their lineup tonight where they bunched 3 lefties in a row together. So if somebody does get on here, his first 2 hitters, Boyd will have the matchups he wants with Sauerbeck out there to try and get the inning over with.
Eduardo Perez coming out, getting ready to pinch hit for Veers. Sauerbeck ready with the first pitch at the bottom of the 7th inning. Strike called. In the American League, the Yankees beat Anaheim 4-2. David Wells won his 14th. Mondesi, Raul Mondesi, 2 RBIs. Oakland won its 9th in a row, beating Cleveland 9-3. And Seattle over Detroit 4-2. In the American League West, Oakland and Seattle tied for first place. The Angels a game back. One ball, 1 strike. Foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Red Sox have defeated Texas 12-3. Boston stays 3.5 back in the American League wildcard standings. And the Red Sox remain 7 behind the Yankees in the American League East. And the Red Sox are hosting the Angels this weekend. DeFelice, the first out of the 7th.
Well, tonight on the Best Damn Sports Show period, Packers quarterback Brett Favre checks in to tell our guys if Green Bay can overtake the Rams in the NFC. Plus, from the hit movie Blue Crush, actress Kate Bosworth drops by to show our guys how to hang 10. And NFL on Fox pregame host James Brown drops in and will help preview the NFL season. All-Star Summer continues tonight at 8 o'clock and 11 right here on Fox Sports Net.
Now Perez batting for Dave Veers. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Pirates 3, the Cardinals 2. The Buccos and the Redbirds getting together for the final time in 2002. Even though we've finished up with St. Louis, the Pirates have yet to play any games this season against either Atlanta or Florida. And the Buccos will see the Braves in PNC Park Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. Down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 2.
Now this could really set up nice for the Pirates. Get these lefties out next inning. Mike Williams come in to finish things off in the 9th. In this inning with Bina.
balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball to right center field. Rob Makoviak sprinting back. Ball is off the wall. Eduardo Perez stops at second. The throw in from Rios to third base. A 1-out double.
Rob went into that ball awfully hard. It took him a while to get up, but he looks like he is going to be all right. That ball just kept carrying. When it went off the bat, I did not think it was going to make it out to the wall. And Makoviak just missing it. You can see him just grimace in his face as he bounced off the wall. It wasn't all that long ago that wall was not padded. This is where, remember, Van Slyke rammed into the wall. Very similar play back before they padded it and broke his collarbone.
Runner at second, 1 out. Fernando Vina 1 for 7 lifetime against Sauerbeck. Strike 1. As a matter of fact, these 3 left-handed batters, Vina, Drew, and Edmonds, are a combined 7 for 31 against Scotty. No balls, 2 strikes. St. Louis had a 2-1 lead from the bottom of the second until the Pirates scored 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning. One and 2.
Scotty dropping down, those sidearm breaking ball action on that ball, trying to get Vina to give a little bit of ground, but he didn't. He kept that front shoulder of his locked right in there.
Foul ball, count 1 and 2. Remember, back in the first inning, Fernando Vina hit one down the left field line, and Brian Giles made a top shelf lunging play, and Brian once again in and over near the line.
If Vina gets a base hit here, it's going to be very tough. If it's at any of the outfields, it's going to be tough to score Perez, as everybody is in shallow. Rios and Makoviak throw very well.
Fernando Vina, the second out of the 7th inning, as Scott Sauerbeck has punched out 2 Redbirds in the 7th inning.
Again, looked like he dropped down just a little bit, not completely sidearm. Just got out there quite a ways through that sweeping breaking pitch and threw it in a perfect spot. Vina just runs out of bat.
Eli Marrero will pinch hit for J.D. Drew. And Marrero's averaged .245, 10 home runs, 47 RBIs. Ball 1. Perez at second base, 2 outs. The Pirates 3, the Cardinals 2, last of the 7th. 2 balls, no strikes.
Outfield giving Marrero a little bit more room than they gave Vina. More of a difficult task to throw somebody out where they're at.
Now 3 balls and no strikes. Edmonds on deck. Perez at second base, 2 outs. The Pirates 3, St. Louis 2. Ball strike. 3-2.
Sarbuck does not give in. He didn't care what the count is. He's going to throw breaking pitches if that's what he thinks he needs to do to get you out. One of the reasons for that is he's gotten so comfortable throwing curveballs. And I'm sure he believes he's got a better chance of throwing a strike with curveball than he does a fastball. Probably the only pitcher in the building right now that really has that much confidence in that breaking pitch.
Runner at second, 2 outs, 3-2 pitch, ground ball to Ramirez. And the throw to Craig Wilson, and Marrero's the third out. The Cardinals, no runs, 1 hit. The double of Perez, and Perez is left in scoring position. Through 7, the Pirates 3, the Cardinals 2. Cardinal changes to the 8th inning. Eli Marrero stays in the game to play right field. Mike Crudale is the 3rd Cardinal pitcher of the night. 34th appearance of the year. 2 wins, no losses, no saves.
It was amazing to me to look at the walk numbers. Just 7 in 37 innings pitched. And when you do see that, a lot of times there's a high amount of base hits. Guys that throw a lot of strikes, they give up a lot more base hits, but that's not the case with Crudale either. He hasn't given up much of anything.
Kendall, Giles, and Ramirez in the 8th. The Cubs have scored a run in the top of the 7th inning. Fred McGriff hitting his 28th of the year off Roy Oswald in the 7th. The Astros 9 and the Cubs 1, 7th inning. Scott Rowland, highly regarded defensive third baseman. 1 out.
Not a bad play on that one. Kendall stung it nicely. And about even with the bag and able to make the play. Third baseman, they still play Kendall in. A long time since Jason attempted to drop down a bunt base hit.
Ryan homered in the 2nd, and he gave the Pirates a short-lived 1-0 lead. It's right now 3-2 Buccos in the 8th.
There's one behind Berkman.
Fly ball right field side and back into the seats, out of play. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Boston's 12-3 win over Texas tonight. Manny Ramirez 2 home runs. Numbers 21 and 22. Dale strikes out Giles, the 2nd out of the 8th.
One of tonight's heroes for the Bucs, Ramos Ramirez, started off that 7th inning where the Pirates put their 2 runs up with a lead-off double. Good job of moving himself to third base. Everybody in the organization still a lot of faith in Ramos Ramirez coming back from this off year and putting up big numbers like he did last season.
And this drive to deep left field, Aramis Ramirez's 11th home run of the year. The Pirates 4, the Cardinals 2.
And now he's a hero of the night for sure. I tried to beat him with a fastball inside and could not do it. That first pitch that Ramos fouled straight back, you could see that it's a great swing at it, just underneath it just a little bit. Trying to go inside, watch the spot, inside corner. The glove does not move of DeFelice. He put the glove on the inside corner. That's where the ball was going. That's just a great job of hitting there by Ramirez. Crudell put it where he wanted to, but Ramirez was there waiting for it.
Buccos 4 and the Cardinals 2, 8th inning. Pitch to Makoviak outside. Apply 2 balls, 1 strike. Rob Makoviak tonight is 0 for 3. Crudell's 2-1 pitch, well outside. Fouled away. Count remains at 3-2 after 2 outs. The Ramirez home run. Ramos has 49 RBIs of his 11 home runs this year. 3 have come against St. Louis.
I think Ramos might be done for the night. He's taking the tape off his wrists.
Fair ball. Extra bases for Makoviak. Possibly. Nope. Well, yes, he is going to try for second. Marrero's throw. And Rob is safe. He got in under the tag of Renteria.
And a good hustle by Makoviak. That was just a great throw by Marrero. Got that kick off the stands. Didn't get down into that corner. Doesn't go in the corner. Marrero able to. Well, you could see him slow out. He thought he was just going to go for the single and then changed his mind. And man, was that a close play. What a throw by Marrero.
Makoviak at second, 2 outs. Breaking ball, strike 1. Try to get Rob again at second base with Vigna taking the throw. The Pirates were held to 1 hit through 5 innings. But now the Buccos lead not only in the run column but in the hit column as well. 7 Pirate hits to the Cardinals 6. Run column 4-2 Buccos. 1 ball, 1 strike. Left-handed batter Jim Edmonds leads off the bottom of the 8th, and it would be right-hand hitters Pujols and Rowland. And Boehringer's been getting ready in the bullpen. Runner at second, 2 outs. 2-1.
Ryan ready to go.
balls, 1 strike.
I don't know if the numbers would back me up, Lanny, but it sure seems like the Pirates have had a lot of success against this bullpen of the Cardinals this year. Sometimes it's come in games that it hasn't mattered much. Again, they try to go after Makoviak. And a couple of times where the Pirates have scored runs late in games that are already out of hand, but they have done some damage against the bullpen.
Craig Wilson walks. Second free pass issued to Craig tonight. 2 men on. After 2 outs, the Ramirez home run, Makoviak double. Craig Wilson getting the base on balls, and Armando Rios walking to the plate. Armando tonight 1 for 3. And Kevin Young comes out of the dugout, ready to bat for Sauerbeck. Rios' infield single just 35 feet away from home plate led to the Pirates' second run that tied the game at 2. Fly ball to left. Pujols goes back and makes the catch. And the Pirates pick up a run. A home run by Aramis Ramirez. 2 hits in the inning, 2 men left on base. Middle of the 8th, the Pirates 4, the Cardinals 2.
Pittsburgh Pirates baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. And by your local Jeep dealers. Jeep, there's only one.
One change for the Pirates in the bottom of the 8th. Mike Benjamin takes over at third base, replacing Aramis Ramirez, and Scott Sauerbeck is ready to work to Jim Edmonds. The Pirates 4, the Cardinals 2. Edmonds 2 for 11 with 5 strikeouts against Sauerbeck. Fly ball and a foul ball, strike 1. Sauerbeck faced 4 Cardinals in the 7th inning and retired 3 of the 4, striking out 2.
And the key thing here is that, keep guys off base. You got the 2-run lead. And these next 3 hitters all have that pop in the bat. Pujols, Rowan, Martinez. You want them to come up with nobody on. Of course, if Martinez gets up there, there'll be either somebody on or he will be representing the tying run one way or another.
Count remains at no balls, 2 strikes.
And Scotty has pitched well tonight. Perez double he gave up. That was a situation where the 3-2 pitch where he's, I think, backed off a breaking ball just a little bit. Mike DeMiro says no, he didn't swing. He backed off that breaking ball a little bit just to make sure he got it around that strike zone with a 3-2 count, and that, I think, is what allowed Perez to get that good wood to it. But it didn't hurt him. Struck out Vigna. Morale with ground out.
And Edmonds grounds out to Pokey Reese, the first out of the bottom of the 8th inning.
Our Pennzoil protection play of the night. Going to go back to the 4th inning. Redbirds had a 2-1 lead. 2 guys on, nobody out, and Pujols hit this ball Well, that's not the play I thought it was going to be. That was a Pujols double play, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. In the third, then there was one in the fourth inning.
Yeah, the Renteria double play in the fourth inning was where there was 2 guys on and nobody out.
The Pirate changes. Kevin Young's going to come in to play first base. And Lloyd McClendon will go to the right-hander Brian Boehringer as Scott Sauerbeck has worked an inning in the third scoreless. It's the Pirates 4, St. Louis 2, 8th inning. More coming your way from Busch Stadium, friends, right after this.
Well, we're back. Pittsburgh up 4-2, and I think that's the side of the arch we're looking at. We're going to see those double plays again. This was the Pujols double play. And the next one, this was the one Renteria hit when the Pirates or the Cardinals had 2 runners on and nobody out, and were looking like they might, break out and extend their lead. Hokie Reese, Jack Wilson, doing what they've done all year, turning a big one.
Boehringer 4-3 with a save, 56th appearance, put Bryant's name in the 7th spot of the order. Kevin Young playing first base, batting 9th. 1 out. Albert Pujols 0-for-3 tonight. And therein lies part of the story tonight. The fact that the Pirates to this point have been able to quiet this Cardinal. Considering how much success he's had against the Pirates this year. Kevin Young takes charge. And 2 outs.
Coming to the game, first one's hit right at you.
Always. Not really. Safe Auto Insurance, safe at home total. $2,480 so far donated by Safe Auto Insurance to Mothers Against Drunk Driving. The 2 Cardinal runs in the second off Brian Meadows. 1 was unearned. Meadows 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 strikeout, 3 walks, 2 intentional. And Brian in line to get his second win in as many starts. Just 5th start for the Pirates. Jack Wilson backpedaling into shallow left center field. And Brian Boehringer came on and threw just 5 pitches. We've written 8 chapters of tonight's story, and it reads the Pirates 4, St. Louis 2.
You're watching Fox Sports Net's exclusive coverage of the Pittsburgh Pirates. The light shining off the side of the arch down by the Mississippi River. Next telecast, see tomorrow, we'll be in Milwaukee playing the Brewers.
You remember that time here in St. Louis, the 4 of us, we were going to go see a movie, and
we went to the arch.
Yeah, instead we decided to just grab a couple of lemonades and go sit along the banks.
We sat on the steps out there.
We were having such a great time.
You and Steve were barefoot, if I remember right.
Correct about that. We were doing our Tom Sawyer Huck Finn impersonation. And remember, this woman went by with a camera. We asked her to take our picture.
And she ended up being from Pittsburgh or something.
She was from the area, recognized us, even though we were.
I wonder whatever happened to that picture.
It's disguised.
Yeah.
Well, we got that picture. She did send copies to us.
I remember she was going to. I don't remember if she did or not.
Yes, she did. 0-2 on Kevin. Kevin's first plate appearance of the night. 9th inning. How about last night we went out for a couple of lemonades?
I could use a lemonade right now.
Fly ball to right field. Coming on is Marrero. He makes the catch. One down in the ninth inning.
A few more outs. That's what I'm going to do. Go get a lemonade.
Buccos 4, Cardinals 2 in the Redbirds' bottom of the ninth inning. Martinez, Renteria, and DeFelice up. And a called strike.
First RBI. Put the Bucs ahead tonight. 41 RBIs on the season. There have been a bunch of them that have been real clutch RBIs. It seems like he should have about 60. And he did, you know, the majority of his damage too with that pitcher hitting behind him, which is pretty amazing.
Getting close to 400 runners in scoring position. 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Mike Williams getting ready in the bullpen. Well, the Astros 9 and the Cubs 1 in the ninth inning. Breaking ball low and outside 2-2. Roy Oswalt pitching that ball game for the Astros. If Houston wins and the Cardinals lose, St. Louis will have a 4-game lead in the National League East. The Giants beat the Mets 3-1 this afternoon. The Dodgers over the Marlins 6-2. LA staying 2.5 in front of the Giants in the wild card race. Fly ball to right center field. And Edmonds there to make the catch. 2 outs.
Edmonds really a glider out there in the outfield. He,
like a gazelle.
very smooth. It doesn't, when he's running, it doesn't even look like he's all that fast, but he covers the ground. Deceptive speed.
Jack Wilson's fly ball.
See, look, it doesn't look like he's that fast.
Ready for the bottom of the ninth inning. The Pirates 4 and the St. Louis Cardinals 2. Mike Williams coming on. Bottom of the ninth inning. Tino Martinez, Edgar Renteria, and Mike DeFelice due up. Mike Williams appearing for the 46th time. 1 win, 4 losses, 35 saves. Last time out, Mike established a new Pirate record for most saves in a season when he picked up number 35 against the Milwaukee Brewers. Ball game that Bronson Arroyo won on Sunday. Mike has 2 saves this year against the Cardinals.
And Mike has been so good for the Pirates. He's been able to set that save record, you know, on a club that's well below the 500 mark. That's not easy to do. Go out. Usually a guy that sets a team save mark is doing it on a team that is you know, up amongst the leaders. But he's done a great job. And Lloyd very fortunate, I'm sure, in his mind, to be able to go to Willie in these situations.
When Tino Martinez homered in the second inning, right after the Ramirez error had allowed Roland to reach first base, that gave the Cardinals a 2-1 lead, and the Redbirds stayed in front 2-1 from the bottom of the second until the Pirates had a 2-run 7th. Pokey Reese knocked in the go-ahead run on the 7th, and Ramirez homered in the 8th for the Pirates' 4th run. And the 2 starters, Brian Meadows and Jason Simon-Tachi, are the pitchers of record. 1 ball and 1 strike on Martinez. Final time this year that the Pirates and Cardinals get together. Two balls, one strike. Fly ball to left center field, and a base hit. A leadoff double.
Well, you got the 2-run lead. You just ignore him out there now. Got the leadoff double. He didn't try to pull an outside pitch, but his run, you know, right now basically doesn't mean anything other than it gets the tying run to the plate. But that just emphasizes the plate is where your concentration now has to be at. What Martinez means is nothing. You're pitching right now just like there's nobody on base, and it's a one-run ball game.
Base hit to left field. Throw will go to second base. Martinez scores, and now it is a one-run ball game.
And that's the way you have to talk to yourself out there on the mound. Trick yourself into having positive thoughts and just think, well, okay, that was just a lead-off single, and now I got to go to work. What will they try to do? Will they try to bunt the run over and play for a tie? I mean, what happened there? That run scoring, that's got to be out of your head immediately.
Kerry Robinson to bat for Mike DeFelice. Robinson, left-handed batter. And now let's see what Tony La Russa elects to do. The potential tying run at first base. There's no outs. Robinson did not tip off anything as Mike Williams threw to first base. Robinson has one sacrifice bunt this year. Four-3 in favor of the Pirates. Foul ball, strike one.
A fortunate roll for the Bucs. They had no chance of throwing Robinson out. Only hope is that this ball, as it kept going, would cross that chalk line. McKendall was almost going to pick it up, and then he realized, I got no chance. I better just let it roll foul.
Pirates 4, Cardinals 3, ninth inning. Kerry Robinson staring at third base coach Jose Oquendo. And Miguel Cairo is in the on-deck circle getting ready to bat for Molina. Renteria, 16 stolen bases. One pitch and a pitch out. A week ago in Pittsburgh, Mike Williams came on to pitch, and the game was tied at 5 after 8 innings. The Cardinals got 6 runs off Mike in the 9th inning. 4 of the runs were unearned. Mike was the losing pitcher to Steve Klein a week ago. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, a run in. 2 balls, 1 strike.
the ground. I think he's emphasizing to Kendall to get Willie to get the ball down. Looking for a ground ball. Willie, of course, the type of pitcher he is, he's much more effective when he's downstairs with everything.
Time granted and requested and granted. Renteria, the runner at first base, and a 2-1 pitch to Kerry Robinson. Runner going. Fly ball to right. Armando Rios sprinting over, making the catch. 1 out. Renteria back to first.
Now, didn't get the ground ball, and it was a good thing. The runner going. Wanted him to hit the ball in the air. Renteria had to go back to first. That was on the ground, even if it wasn't through the infield. It would have still at least moved Renteria into second base. The fly ball worked out great there for the Pirates.
Miguel Cairo hitting .220 on the year, but he is a .304 pinch hitter. He has 14 pinch hits and 8 RBIs as a pinch hitter.
Jewett moving the outfield around. They're playing him in the outfield quite a bit to hit the ball the other way. Big hole on the right side also. Young holding on the runner, but with Pokey Reese over there, that hole is not big as it looks.
The Pirates 4, St. Louis 3. And the Buccos had a 4-2 lead coming into this bottom of the 9th inning, but Martinez doubled left center field and scored on Renteria's single. Foul ball, 1-1.
Extending his lead very far. You would think if he's going to really try and steal this base, he would try and get at least one more step. Double plays have been big for the Pirates in this ball game. It's fitting the game to end on one now.
Runner going. Renteria's on the move. A line shot, base hit to left field for Cairo. He'll go to third. Giles throw into second base. First and third, 1 out. The Pirates leading by 1 run.
Yeah, it looked like a hit and run. And it paid off perfectly with that line drive. But Giles used his head. He did not try to throw Renteria out at third base. He threw the ball into second. So at least that winning run now is still all the way at first base.
And the double play still in order. Fernando Vina is 1 for 12 lifetime against Mike Williams.
Infield's going to play back, it looks like. Now Jack is coming into the edge of the grass, now backing up, trying to disguise, but he's moving back into the double play area. They're going to go for two, it looks like.
Ball one.
I would think that Vigna, as well as he runs, batting left-handed, it's going to have to be a fairly firmly hit ball at one of those middle infielders to turn two with him running.
Renteria at third, Cairo at first, one out. 4-3 Pirates, bottom of the ninth inning.
We can still end this thing with a double play ball. The Long Beach play, making sure that Cairo stays close to that first base bag.
One and one.
Really fooled on that slider. When you swing way out in front of it. This is like a Willie save from last year. He's got us out on the edge of our seat the whole ninth inning.
Runners at first and third, one out. The Pirates 4, the Cardinals 3. And once again, they step to third and look to first. We did get Mike Matheny on that play earlier this year.
I think it's worked a couple of times for pickoffs this year.
Two and one. The Cardinals have the potential tying run at third. Also a potential winning run at first, and the 2-1 pitch to Fernando Vigna. 3-1. Whereas Vigna has done very little lifetime against Mike Williams, Eli Marrero has had some success against Mike.
Well, it might be time to see that Long Beach play again. Cardinals on a 3-1 count got to be very tempted to start Cairo.
Yeah, Kendall, I think, just signaled for it.
Go ahead, run. No. Tried to get him to go.
Cairo was going back to the line as Mike made his step toward third.
And you know how you double up a fastball inside every now and then, Colin? How about doubling up on the Long Beach plays? 2 in a row.
Gosh, I never thought I'd see the day you'd be asking for it.
People like it now.
There you go. You wanted to double up.
Almost like I know the signs. Well, that sign I just saw, that was for a changeup.
Three and two on Vigna.
The two pitches that Vigna has swung at, he hadn't come close. Both of them off speed, both times way out in front, almost like he's expecting Woolley to give in and throw him a fastball. Woolley doesn't do that. He does not give in. He throws whatever he wants. A lot like Sauerbeck in that regard. The count does not faze him.
First and third, one out, 4-3 Pirates, ninth inning.
Woolley would rather walk you than have you beat him on a pitch that he's not comfortable throwing you. I think Cairo was running on that one. I saw him flinch a little bit towards second. Now Max giving the sign right now to Kendall on what to do as far as the pickoff throws. And Kendall relays that information right now to Woolley as he looks in. Over at Mac again, and the process will start all over.
Runner going. Cairo's on the move. Ball fouled into the seats. And that'll bring Miguel Cairo back to first.
It's got to be kind of tough for Cairo. He's been told to run, but he's got to be very careful that Woolley is going home and not faking to third base. Basically, he's having to wait so long that if Vigna does swing and miss, Cairo's going to be a dead duck at second. Red duck.
Four-3 Pirates, bottom of the ninth inning. Renteria singled in Martinez for the third Cardinal run, and Renteria went to third by way of the pinch hit single of Cairo after Robinson flied out to right. Runner going, Cairo on the move, and a base hit off the glove of Kevin Young. The game is tied. Here comes Cairo around third, and the throw to the plate by Rios. The Cardinals win. Fernando Vigna doubles in 2 runs. St. Louis wins it 5-4.
It was a nail-biting game, that's for sure. There's our player of the game, Fernando Vigna. Base hit. I don't know if it helped or not, but Kevin Young got the glove on it, slowed it down, and that actually might have given Cairo a little more time to score all the way from first. There you see Cairo looking over his shoulder, the ball just glancing off the glove of KY, and that slowed it down.
Final score, St. Louis 5, Pirates 4. Now to our studios.